going on, you guys? Your boy Lone Wolf, and welcome back to another Dexter review. I'm doing two because I didn't do the review for episode three because I've been so busy with other things. So this video is going to be talking about episode three and four. I know episode five is coming out tomorrow, so I just want to get my review out. All right. Well, without further ado, let's get to it. Also, put this out, and if y'all don't want any spoilers, I'll understand. So I'll give y'all a second to do that. All right, here we go. All right, so episode three was pretty much okay. We get to see Harrison at school. I'm just gonna get straight to the point on episode three. So episode three, we get to see that Harrison was helping this kid named Ethan who was always being bullied at school, and on top of all, we already know that they were set. We realized that they were just sending text messages, basically of naked photos. So Ethan thinking that he was talking to a girl, but they're actually talking to the kids that are bullying him, that Harrison is friends with. So they're basically, Harrison pretty much is letting them know that he letting them know that these guys are messing with you, bullying you, so on and so forth. Typical high school drama and stuff like that. And then Harrison basically, grabbed one of them in the throat and tell him that if you mess with him, basically gonna kick your ass. So yeah, I wanted to start that out because that was pretty much cool what Harrison was doing. But I want to get back to that part with it. But before I get there, yeah. So of course, in the beginning of the episode, they still doing the search. They had canines, they had dogs, and they're looking for Matt's body. And Dexter, of course, of course, moved the body around so that way they can't find anything. They can't really find. They can't really. So that way he could close out their tracks. I'm sorry. And and then find. So basically, the whole episode is about Dexter trying to figure out where he's going to hide the body until very end of the episode he finally figured out that he could pretty much burn the body, like how he did with Yates. Well, not Yates, but the other guy, that big tall. He pretty much did with the other guy what he did with Deborah, the guy that always be attacking women in like season 8. So so he finally found where he could dispose the body because there's no ocean where he's at all. And the most interesting part was the fact that well, not interesting, but fun. The funniest part was the part where Dexter goes into the cave while he was trying to find the where to dispose the body, and then simply he just figured out that, like, oh, maybe I could put it in this cave. And then he's being chased by a bear. That was hilarious right there. He was like, "Oh snap!" And then we also get back to Harrison and Ethan when they're on the phone with each other. Ethan was pretty much telling Harrison that how cool it was, how basically he stood up for him and everything like that. And then basically Ethan was showing him that, he was about that if he didn't do what he did. Basically, Ethan was telling Harrison that if he didn't do what he did, he would have committed murder in the schools, basically to get revenge against the people that bullied him. Which that basically brings down the whole school shootings and stuff like that. Now, granted, like, not justifiable, but it's definitely understandable. Like, when you push someone to that point, this is what's happening. But sadly, we live in a world where people just don't get that. They think that people are not going to do nothing, but when they actually do something, they get all scared and upset, and they act like idiots, basically. So it's a sad thing. And then Harrison sees that this kid was trying to commit a school shooting. So we see that Harrison was trying to see that he probably prevented some people, so many people getting hurt. All right. So yeah, not so much interesting, but it was basically a lot of father and son time. And I'm having some theories that Matt's father, Caldwell, Because that's what another thing I want to get to. And by the ending, he basically like after Dexter disposed of Kurt's son, that um he was going around talking about that he FaceTimed his son, and that was kind of strange because like, well, your son's not alive; he's pretty much dead. Well, he's been decapitated, disposed of into the flames. But the guy, of course, the guy doesn't know that. But obviously, the guy was pretty much drunk, and then that's pretty much how episode 3 pretty much ended, where Dexter's taking him home. So, episode 3, not bad. I'll give it about 6 out of 10. Not really ain't much that you can pretty much see for on that point. But I would like to get up to episode 4 because that one, this is when things got interesting. Episode 4, H is for Hero. That's when things got really interesting because now, and I want to get to the really more interesting points. They're pretty much about to wrap things up with Kurt, son. But of course, the police chief, late Dexter's girlfriend, is not convinced he's that Kurt is like moving up. She wants to get some answers and stuff like that. So she questions Kurt, but basically, he's still stuck to his story. And she was not pretty much convinced. So she basically asked one of her sergeant, her one of her employees, her sergeant, one of the cops, to run his credit card, see if he's actually in New York. Oh yeah, and another thing, I forgot to bring up on episode 3. Also, I forgot to bring up the whoever that killer is, the antagonist of this season, the guy who was like a hunter. He pretty much killed a lady. I failed to bring that up on episode on when I was reviewing doing talking about episode 3. But no, real quick, nothing. It was nothing really serious. Like basically, he just let her go out of the house, and then he just pretty much gunned her down. So it was nothing really serious. I guess that's why it was not really that memorable because we don't know what's going on yet because we're still beginning. But yeah, so I just want to play that out before I move forward on episode 4. So yeah, so back to episode 4. Yeah, they're not convinced. They want to run Matt's credit card, see if he's actually checking in to New York because she can't let that sucker go because he killed a buck deer. And then we zoom down to Harrison because after with the going to that reporter, Jamie Chung's character, because basically Jamie Chung's character on the podcast chick is trying to get involved in the investigation with the cop, and the cop pretty much telling her that if you don't, she just kept pestering the cop, but she kept telling her like, "Yo, back away, or I get you arrested." So she backed away, of course, and then they resume back to Harrison, where he goes to the podcast girl's Instagram, and you start to see different killers. You see Sam, son of Sam, and then most interesting point is the Trinity. He zooms down. He starts scrolling down until he stops at the Trinity killer, Harris, the murderer of his mother's death, Rita. And she gets to start listening to the interviews and the podcast, and then basically he starts overhearing when he was in the pool of his mother's blood, Rita's blood, and you start to see Harrison gets like really angry. So it kind of begs the question: does Harrison have inherited Dexter's Darkpassenger? And that's why I say like episode 4 is definitely really got more. It was a lot more interesting than episode 3 because this is when things got crazy. So there was a lockdown and basic at the school, and basically Harrison was stabbed, and Ethan, of course, is losing a lot of blood on his leg. So Harrison basically Harrison was preventing a school shooting that Ethan was trying to commit murder, get revenge on all the people, and then explaining his story to the cops and Dexter. Of course, Dexter was very worried about his son, and then one of the cops found a kill list in Ethan's book, the artwork that he showed Ethan and back in episode 3 that he was going to murder them and stuff like that. But as you can see Dexter's face, he could tell that his son was lying. The story just didn't add up. So he started doing investigating on his son, and then come to find out that everything that Harrison was trying to say was pretty much a lie. And when he was trying to interrogate Harrison, of course, he gets upset about it and everything. And they go back to the school. Of course, they went to the police department to look at the photos. And then Dexter goes back to the school and tries to reenact the scene and stuff like that. And then Deborah in his mind keeps telling him that he's a good kid, he's a hero and stuff like that. But Dexter, once again, a genius in his forensic field, he finds out that Harrison Ethan was never trying to. Ethan was would never attacked Harrison at all, and there was never going to be a school shooting. Basically, Harrison attacked Ethan kind of like out of nowhere for no reason, and he stabbed himself, and that's what really happened. So, and of course, we actually, oh yeah, and another thing, we finally get the revelation that the father, Matt's father, Kurt, is actually the guy who is hunting down these women, the guy in the white mask, and gunning down women with like a hunting ground and stuff like that. Because you see that he was talking to one of the girls who was a beggar, always asking him for money, and then he pretty much led her to a shed and stuff like that. And then while Harrison is pretty much like at a school session where all the people who are on the list on Ethan's kill list, they have the entire this whole announcement, trying to congratulate Harrison for being a hero, but then Harrison is pretty much telling them that Ethan is a victim. So you can actually see that Harrison has some sort of guilt for what he did, but he didn't understand why he did what he did. And then while Dexter found out the truth that Harrison was lying and he stabbed himself and actually attacked Ethan, we find the knife that he used to actually attack Ethan, which is the same knife that the Trinity Killer uses to commit his murders and slid their thigh. So basically, we kind of see confirmed that Harrison does inherit Dexter's Darkpassenger, which is a big trouble. It was very a great revelation on that. So at this point, we know that Dexter's going to do something. I watched the preview and it looks really good. It looks like episode 5 is definitely going to be very interesting. Like I said, I was going to like episode 4 was definitely really good episode. I'll definitely give this one like a 7 out of 10. It's like very standard, very good pace. You know, it's like it's starting to begin now because now we know who the antagonist is, which I kind of figured it was Kurt, Matt's father, the father of the son that Dexter killed. We kind of figured that he was the killer. It was pretty much obvious, really and surely. You know, I mean, I don't know if it was obvious for other people, but it was obvious for me. So, but yeah, I'll give this episode 4 a 7 out of 10. I just want to give out all this important key points because yeah, there were certain things in detail in the game in the episode was not really interesting. So I just wanted to like definitely talk about that. Harrison definitely is starting to show some dark tendencies like his father, and his father is definitely going to probably teach him how to control his urges. So, and basically, we could tell that Harrison is looking for revenge for his mother's death, Rita. But well, one thing's for sure, we see that that Harrison definitely wants revenge against the Trinity Killer, the person who killed his mother, Rita. And Dexter is going to have. We'll see. Is Dexter going to tell his son Harrison that he already avenged Rita's death, his mother's death, and his wife? or he's just going to keep telling him that and give him some sort of way to actually calm him down. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens on episode 5. All right, I'm definitely looking forward to it, and definitely this is going to be a very, very interesting series going forward. We'll see what happens. All right. So that's it for this review of episode 3 and 4. You guys, make sure I like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and tell me what did y'all think. Did y'all see the episodes or not? I really have to recommend it, and I'll see y'all on episode 5 of Dexter New Blood review. All right. I'll take it easy. Peace.